Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I'm your host, Clay, emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take for Thursday night, March the 20th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Canucks fans, CCC community, how are you feeling right now? Be honest. How are you feeling right now after the Canucks 4-3 overtime loss to the St. Louis Blues? We dubbed it the biggest game of the season, which I think is true. That's not hyperbole. And the game was kind of boring for the first little bit. It was two teams not trying to make a mistake. And then by the third period, the floodgates open. There were big goals, big saves, big mistakes, deflections off your own players. So this game had a bit of it all, except for maybe a big fight or two, but some big hits as well. And I must admit, I'm kind of all over the place. On one hand, I'm very disappointed that the Canucks lost and that they only got 1 point and allowed St. Louis to get 2. On the other hand, I'm happy they got the point because you could say that they stole one by getting that goal with 3 seconds left. And then I go back to the other side and say, yeah, but if the Canucks can't even beat St. Louis, a team that they're fighting for the wild card spot, then they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. But then I think, wow, if Besser, Hughes, Petey, and if Demko all get hot at the same time, this team can make a difference in the playoffs. Then I think, oh man, I think Quinn Hughes kind of tried to do too much tonight. But I think, oh man, Brock Besser, it looks like he kind of played bad on purpose, so they couldn't trade him, and now he's playing for a big contract. So you can see, I'm kind of being facetious a little bit there, but I truly am all over the place with, disappointed in the loss. Happy they got the point. Not sure which team is the real Canucks team. Is it the team that whumped Winnipeg at 6-2 on Tuesday? Or is it the team that struggled to tie the St. Louis Blues and get a point out of tonight's game? So really quickly, before I get to my opening, I want to see how you guys are all doing in terms of how you are feeling. Edmund says, disappointed we lost, but it could have been worse. I will take an OT loss over a regulation loss. Yep. The other 3 teams all got 2 points. That is true. Skytrain Alfred is disappointed. Coach Rob, happy birthday. No secret, I will bring Coach Rob in for the last 15 minutes of my show, just around 10:40, 10:45. So happy birthday, Coach Rob. I'm sorry that the Canucks did not win for your birthday. Mixed feelings, kind of like me, feeling roller coaster, feeling a bit low. Well, we're here to cheer you up, Sarah. Hey, Darren. Wouldn't be surprised if we didn't make the playoffs. Kind of a lost cause at this point. I don't know if lost cause is a little bit doom and gloom, but you're certainly entitled to that opinion. Mark, I had the pleasure of hanging out with Mark for 75 minutes on Game Over Vancouver, and glad you're here, Mark. Thanks for having me. Surprisingly optimistic. Yeah, I would say that the tone, the mood between the two of us on our show was quite optimistic. Whatever happens, happens. A lot of other good things, but I better gutted. Oh, that's sad. That makes me sad. And then what else we got? Phil Morris says, Brock just proves his value, but there's no price tag on it. He's important. There you go. Blues are a bit harder right now. Oh, sorry. They're on a heater right now. So I say we can't even beat the best team in the league since Four Nations is bad. So saying we can't even beat the best team isn't bad. Yeah, you're right. They have been the best team since the Four Nations. Still in the mix. 3 point means even more inconclusive. Yes, we will get back to that. Game in hand. Yes, I'll get into all of that right now. 2 more. The one reviewed would have been worse if counted by passing the line. Yeah, Lankinen was smart there. Team just inconsistent, never know what to expect. That is fair as well. Okay, and yes, everyone that came to watch Mark and me, proper grammar, everyone that came to... By the way, a real quick, and then I promise I'll get to the game. It baffles me how many so-called professional writers, I'm not going to say who they are, but they make the mistake all the time. When they are sharing an article or a collab, a video, you are supposed to say, join Parker and me. Join Mark and me. Because you take away the other person and you'd say, join me, watch me, be with me. Not be with I. Come join Parker and I. Come join Mark and I. And I see that all the time. I see that all the time on X when people are sharing their collabs. And these are professional writers that they get paid full time. And they're making that mistake constantly. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. Soapbox was the word that I was searching for last week, but it's just interesting. So thank you, Fangirl and Coach Rob and Shannon, everyone who did double duty tonight. That means watching Mark and me, because you watch me, you don't watch I watching Mark. I don't know what I'm talking about. Actually, I do know what I'm talking about. Thanks to everyone who watched Mark and me on Game Over Vancouver 3 hours ago, and thanks to everyone who's here tonight, double duty. Pauline, depends on context. If you're saying, what's a good example with and I? No, I can't even. He went to eat with Pauline and I. No. What? Yeah, it's funny. Gail must be influencing your gap. Yeah, and depending. Yeah, so context matters. It might be different from learning different English standards. All good. But I was taught that you take away the other person. So, because you never say join Parker and I. Because you don't say join I, you say you join me. Interesting. Unless I was wrong. Clay and I. No, I know there was a thing. I know I was taught and I as well, but I think I'm thinking of a different example. Or you guys have just may exposed me. Good thing I said it here and not called anyone out on Twitter, especially if I'm wrong. No, I'm gonna go back to this, but I'm pretty sure it was. I hope you join Mark and me, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound right when you say I hope you join Mark and I. Okay, I can get back to you, and I'll have a better answer on Sunday. Happy belated birthday! Yes, there. Irwin. Okay, firstly, Brian, happy belated birthday, March 14th, the day after my lovely wife. Very good. Happy belated. Yes, if you're the subject of a pair, that's right. Clay and I are hosting tonight. So that's a great point. Mark and I are hosting tonight. Mark and I hosted tonight. That is correct. Because I wouldn't say Mark and me, because I wouldn't say me hosted. I would say I hosted. So that is correct, Irwin. I like the way I think that's the exact example I was looking for. Mark and I co-hosted tonight, or technically he hosted, but Mark and I hosted a show tonight. But it was come join. I hope you joined Mark and me, not Mark and I. Clay and I is right. Clay and me isn't really right. And wrong is me and I and you. Yeah, exactly. Clay's English commentary, CEC, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Yes, Clay and I went for sushi. That is correct. Because if you take out Clay, you say I went for sushi. But then, and Justin and I went for sushi. But will you want to join Justin and me? That's the perfect example. Would you want to join Justin and me for sushi? That is correct. Because you wouldn't say, I'd say, would you like to join me for sushi? However, Justin and I are going out for sushi, not Justin and me are going out for sushi. Okay, I think we got it, you guys. It took about 3 minutes, but I think we got it. Let's get into this game. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. And thank you for not insulting my English. Members, Legends Hall of Fame franchise members, thanks for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland, province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for taking some time. You know that I know that you could be watching anyone else, doing anything else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or reading a grammar book. But in fact, you are here with me instead of doing all three. Know how much I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. So this is how you get involved tonight. You can subscribe to the channel so you get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You can like this video, like the fact that we're together, like the fact that Canucks got a point, like the fact that Brock Besser is awesome, like the fact that Kevin Lankin is awesome, like the fact that we are still within shouting distance of a playoff spot, like the fact that I'm learning how to speak English every single day, even though it's supposed to be my first language. You can leave a donation, be the first to Justin Clay's grammar commentary. You can leave a donation and get the donation train out of the station. Maybe I can pay for some English lessons. And I'm not insulting anyone whose English is not their second language, because English as your second language is probably better than my first language. Obviously, you can gift a membership. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership. You can use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Just having some fun, you guys. But it's just a little pet peeve of mine. I have a lot of little pet peeves. Maybe I won't open every single show with a different pet peeve, because you guys would get annoyed by me. But yes, Mark and I did a show. Did you watch Mark and Me? That's right. Mark and I talked during the stream. Did you ever think of joining Mark and Me? Yeah. I'm confident that that's the way it goes. Okay. Goal visualizer. This is something I know how to do. Watch, it's going to lag now, break my computer, and then you guys are going to laugh at me again. St. Louis starts off the scoring, and it is Bolduc. Innocent play. He just kind of takes the puck from Sundqvist right here, loops around, shoots it, and then Quinn Hughes, for some reason, decides to try and deflect it. I don't know what he's thinking, because generally, even if your stick's really strong, it's very hard to knock a puck out of the air and push it to the corner or deflect it away intentionally. I think in a perfect world, Quinn Hughes leaves that puck and lets Kevin Lankinen take it, but instead Quinn Hughes deflects it past Kevin Lankinen, unfortunately, because Kevin Lankinen played so good the whole first period. There's no scoring in the first period. He's turned away all 13 shots and every shot before this. So a late second period goal, and it's 1-0. Be a legend today and get an exclusive new segment, monthly title, What Grinds Clay's Gears. I joined Mark on his show. Yeah. That's fine too. Of course, because I wouldn't say me joined Mark. Yeah. Okay, no more. So then the craziness of the third period. First, it is Kiefer Sherwood. And he just basically takes this pass. Pettersson to Hronek to Sherwood, and boom. Wrist shot past Binnington on a high glove. It was beautiful. And the thing about this goal that was nice, remember I don't do goal breakdowns formally on my channel when the Canucks lose, but one thing that was really nice here is when you see Hronek get it over to Pettersson, instead of Pettersson right here. So Pettersson looks very open, but by the time he gets the puck, he's not as open. But look how smart Sherwood is. Instead of staying down here, he gives Hronek another avenue. So the puck goes back to Hronek, and instead of Hronek shooting and trying to get past 7 guys, look at that. Sherwood opens up there and puts the puck in. Huge goal. I yelled so loud. And then 5 minutes later, Brock Besser scored what I thought was going to be the game winner. Yeah, sure. So here we go. Höglander over to Besser, and then Besser with just a wrist shot that goes where Sherwood's went over Binnington's close side. This wrist shot, I believe, goes past Binnington's blocker. Now it's 2-1. And then the craziness started. A goal right off of faceoff. Pius Suter was horrible in the faceoff circle tonight. I think he went 2-11. So he loses this. And I even learned this in roller hockey. DeBrusk makes the right play in going after Tucker. So he loses the faceoff. DeBrusk makes the right play, but what he doesn't do well is not get out of the way. So you either got to block the shot or you get out of the way. He tries to block the shot. It goes off of him and Lankinen. So the first goal goes off of Hughes. The second goal goes off of DeBrusk. Knuckleback, I'll get to your donation in a second. Oh, it's Chugger. He played so good. Now everyone's giving me English lessons. And then the backbreaker. So we thought just 24 seconds later is Dylan Holloway. I do not like Tyler Myers' effort on this play. So look at this. 3-on-3, right? 1, 2, 3. Technically it's 2-on-3 because Suter's right here. Then Suter realizes the trailer. So now it's it looks like it's not even a 2-on-1 because Myers is there. But then I think Myers is afraid that Kyrou is going to walk Hughes. So he inexplicably comes here. Now look, you guys notice that Dylan Holloway is wide open. So not only did Myers make the wrong play by shading to the middle, he should have just stayed with Holloway and tied up his stick. But Kairu's pass goes off of Myers' stick right to Holloway, and then he puts it past Lankinen. So goal number 1 off of Hughes. Goal number 2 off of DeBrusk. Goal number 3 off of Myers' stick. And guess what? If Myers wasn't in that position, if he wasn't shading to the middle, that puck wouldn't have gone off his stick. It's just really unfortunate. But then the goal I would have highlighted if I did a goal breakdown, with 12 seconds left, the puck goes out of the zone. The Canucks obviously have the empty net. So I thought we were done. But look at these guys. They all boot to the get onside. Hughes to Petey. Then Petey gains the zone. Look at that. The puck is over the zone, over the line. And then a beautiful pass to Brock through 3 of St. Louis Blues guys. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And Brock, look, these guys are all excited. They don't know what's going to happen. They look, O'Connor and Forbert are actually stepping off the bench because they know what's going to happen. Besser winds up and a slap shot past Binnington with 3 seconds left. Amazing stuff. So there we go. All excited. I am screaming. Yes, I know that when we win in overtime, the Blues will still get a point, but I don't care because the Canucks are going to get one more than the Blues. Then there's a goal, a wraparound goal in overtime that was called no goal on the ice and was no goal upon further review. Yes, the initial shot didn't go in because Lankinen, he braced himself against the post and he put his glove on the puck. Now, whether or not the whistle should have blown when a Blues player skated around and poked it, I have no conclusive evidence, but Mark and I were talking about this in Game Over Vancouver. We both think the puck actually got behind the line just because of the force that the Blues player poked it with. But because Lankinen had his glove on top of the puck and there's no camera view where you could see the puck, brilliant play by Lankinen. It was properly ruled no goal, even if I think it actually crossed the line. That's just my opinion. All right, overtime. I gotta set this up. Prior to this, DeBrusk, Hughes, and Pettersson, they failed 2 times to get in the zone. The first time PD tried, he turned back. The second time, DeBrusk fed it to Hughes thinking it was going to be a give and go, but Hughes didn't pass it, so DeBrusk had to turn back. So now this is after DeBrusk gave it to Hughes, then to PD. PD loses it right there. You see he loses it. But then watch what happens. DeBrusk then, right here, PD should have realized that DeBrusk was going to take him, and PD should have stayed on him. So that's the first error. See, DeBrusk is on him, then PD should have stayed on him. But then the second error is then right there. DeBrusk turns to go for a line change. Now PD did stay on number 6. Now PD has to decide who he's going to take, but his momentum carries him. I don't know. Should PD have known DeBrusk was going off? Maybe Besser technically is way ahead of Broberg here. You think Besser can make up the ground, but then Broberg just takes off. And Besser was a little slow getting off the bench because now look. Now you could say it's a 2-on-2, but Besser is way over here and Hughes has to stay with this man, which has to be Braden Shen. Besser is ahead, but he's certainly not as fast as Broberg. And look at that difference. Look at that. It just between the red line and the blue line, Broberg speeds up. You would love to see Hughes. Maybe Hughes thought Besser was going to catch up. You'd love to see maybe Hughes was tired because Hughes, I think, tried to do too much today. I'll get to that in a second. But you're supposed to really block the pass in the 2-on-1 and let Lankinen take the shooter. But instead it gets past Hughes, and now it's 1-on-1. Broberg makes a beautiful move and gets it past Lankinen. Let's watch that on real speed just to see. PD. Now watch DeBrusk. Goes after Holloway, then turns inexplicably, and now it becomes a 2-on-1. It's just a mess. Nice play by the Blues, admittedly. And that's how the game-winning goal went in. Now go back. Let's acknowledge your donation, and then I'll keep going with some of this. So let's give some love to Knuckleback for the first donation of the night. Gets the donation train out of the station. $2 donation. He says, put Hughes on the bumper in PP1. But then who's going to shoot it? Do you want Hughes on the bumper? Is that because you think he can do more there? Or do you think he's making bad decisions on the point? Regardless, thank you, Knuckleback, for the donation. Let's give Knuckleback some love in the chat. First period was kind of dull. Canucks dominated the first 2 minutes, and then St. Louis dominated the other 18 minutes. They outshoot Canucks 12-3, 9-9 in the second, 5-5 in the third, 3-1 in overtime, 29-18. 2/3 of the faceoffs, though, that is brutal. Neither team scored in the power play, but the Blues actually outdid everything. They out-hit the Canucks, and they had more blocked shots than the Canucks. You look at the box score, and you look at the Canucks themselves. Just going to highlight some things here real quick. Besser had his 2 goals. Hoglander had a point. Petey had 2 assists. Sherwood had a goal. So those are the 4 forwards that had points. Besser played 20 minutes. Petey played 20 minutes and a half. And then low guys were Amon and Carlson, just under 11 minutes. What did Hoglander have? Okay, a bit more, 17 minutes tonight. And then 4 shots for Besser, leads all forwards. Another 5 hits for Joshua. 10 hits for Sherwood. And you know that Sherwood knows the Blues team a lot because Sherwood used to play for Nashville. And Nashville played St. Louis a lot. So 10 hits for Sherwood. Amazing. He had half of the team's hits. No, 1/3. On D, Hronek and Pettersson +2 and +1. But Hughes and Myers a -2. Hughes plays 30 minutes. DPD only plays 10. 5 blocks for Myers. Got to give it to him there. 2 shots. 2 shots for Marcus Pettersson. Only 1 shot for Hughes, 2 blocks for Pettersson, and then no defenseman had more than 1 hit. Lankinen can't really blame him on any of the goals. 2 of them went off of his own player, and 1 of them went off his player directly to the St. Louis Blues player. Now, a couple of people mentioned all 4 teams in the wild card hunt played tonight, and what stunk was that the other 3 teams won except for the Canucks. So we had the Flames scoring late, 3 times late to beat the Devils 5-3. That stinks. Then you had us losing 4-3. That stinks. You had Utah beating the Sabres. That stinks. So Utah, St. Louis, and Calgary all won. You throw it all together, and my friends, this is what you wind up with. By the way, look at Ottawa safely in the first wild card. Montreal now 2 points up. They are a second wild card. So Ottawa, Montreal. So either Vancouver or Calgary are the only 2 Canadian teams that might not make it in the playoffs this year. Edmonton and Winnipeg in the West, and then Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal potentially in the East. Okay, this is what we care about. Then I'll put up my graphic that I'm so proud of, and I've changed it. So look at this. Forget about Minnesota Wild. No one's catching them. St. Louis with their win, 77 points in 70 games. Canucks with the 1 point, 76 points in 69 games because we entered the game tied with St. Louis at 75. Calgary with the win 75 and 68. Utah with the win 73 and 69. So pay attention to this. The Blues are 1 point up on us, but we have 1 game in hand. So if we win that game outright, we have 78 points. So we technically have a better points percentage than St. Louis. Calgary has 75 points, so they're 2 behind St. Louis, 1 behind us, but they have 2 games in hand. So if they win outright their games, they will have 79, we will have 78, St. Louis will have 77, and then Utah, if they win their 70th game, goes to 75. So remember, because everyone's played different amount of games, it's hard to look at perfectly. So I always just presume that you get 2 points to even it out. So at the 70 game mark, if everyone wins their games, Calgary will have 79, Vancouver will have 78, St. Louis will have 77, Utah will have 75. That's the cleanest way to look at it. But right now, in terms of points, it's St. Louis. In terms of points percentage, it's actually us and Calgary. Calgary probably a tiny bit above us because they only need 1. Well, they're basically tied because of rounding. I have lowered my playoff projection to 91 points. Last week I was saying 92. But if you take 551, the points percentage of both Vancouver and Calgary, higher than St. Louis, if you take the 551 point percentage and you extrapolate that over 82 games times 2 points, it's actually 90.3. 90.3. So the playoff pace right now is 90.3. So I'm rounding up to 91. So if I'm saying that the playoff bar is now 91 points, in the Canucks' final 13 games, they need 15 points. So 15 points in 13 games, that is +2. 2 games over 500. So in 13 games, that could be 7-5-1 or 6-4-3. You guys, 6-4-3. They only have to win 6 of their final 13 games, and they can lose 7 either in extra time or in regulation. So when you put it like that, that does not sound that bad. It really doesn't. But I think that's kind of a little close. I think you want to try and go 3 games over 500. So you probably want to be 8-5 or 7-4-2, as opposed to 7-5-1 or 6-4-3. But what I'm saying is indeed still possible. I don't know. When I put it out like that, it doesn't look brutal, but then in reality, I guess it's a lot easier said than done. Okay, I'll say one more thing, and then I'll do my mid-show sponsor read. I'll take 10 minutes of your questions, and then we'll bring on Coach Rob, and that's the plan for the rest of the game, the rest of the show. No more grammar lessons, I promise. Quinn Hughes. 95% of the time, what Quinn Hughes does and who he is for this team, you can't beat it. Norris Trophy winner, would have won the Norris Trophy again this year if he didn't get hurt. Might have even garnered some attention for a Hart Trophy, all those things. Excellent. But 5% of the time, or maybe even less, he'll have a bad game. And as many of you pointed out in the chat, he's allowed to have a bad game. You can't have 100% good games. But I think tonight it actually hurt the team. He got his assists, sure. But the first goal went off of him. I think in overtime he made a couple of poor decisions on offense. And I just think, I'm not putting, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting the whole loss on Quinn Hughes' shoulders, but I'm saying I'm not even going to say he hurt the team more than he helped the team, but he wasn't as effective as he usually is. 30 minutes is a lot, especially on the road. And I know he's not 100% healthy, so maybe it's unfair to expect him to be elite every single game. But I simply think he tried to do too much. And there's a lot of blame to go around. I don't like Myers on that third goal. I don't like PD and DeBrusque play on that overtime winner by the Blues. So I'm not saying it's all Quinn's fault, but I will say tonight's night where I noticed he just tried to do a little too much. Maybe a more like you could say it. I thought he shot too much, admittedly. There was one time where he was at the end of a 3-minute shift and he kept shooting the puck actually. And maybe you might say, well, at least someone's shooting and trying to get the puck to the net. But just like every other player, Quinn's shots do get blocked. Sometimes he shoots wide because no one shoots perfect. And I just think maybe it's not because he's selfish. No, you don't get to that to be as good as he is by being selfish. You're wired to be a difference maker. So I'm not blaming him. His intent was good, obviously. Put the team on my back, will us to an overtime win, and then go from there. But intention's one thing, execution is another. Hey, Holden, EP in 43 made a mistake in OT. They went and put DeBrusque offside twice. Yeah, exactly. Hold on, I'm not sure if you hear when I started the show. Not when I started the show 5 minutes ago when I was talking about that. Yeah, the first time PD couldn't enter, and the second time DeBrusque was expecting that give and go with Quinn Hughes. I agree with you. And Ryan says, yeah, it's crazy that Quinn's worst game of the year. I don't know if it's the worst game of the year, but yeah. So it sounds like you're agreeing with me that he wasn't great, yet he still played 30 minutes and he had an assist. Indeed. Thanks, Carol. Hey, you don't have to apologize. You can say whatever you want. I just won't say it out loud. And then one more, and then I will go to my mid-show sponsor read. Would you agree that DeBrusque not gone too deep in the ozone and Halloween OT, that 2-1? Yes, I agree. But it's okay to go deep and to as long as you stay with the guy. It's not good to go deep and then freeze your teammate who gave the puck away. So I'm not absolving PD, and then go to the bench on a slow change, and the guy replacing you is not very fast, right? So and I don't think Hughes even played that 2-on-1 well. So I think all three guys plus Besser were at fault, and those are maybe your 4 best skaters on the team. And thank you, Carol. Great job on Game Over. I appreciate that. It's because of Mark. Mark is the host with the most, if that makes sense. All right, let's do the mid-show sponsor read. And as always, I start off by thanking my primary sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Coach Patrick Blue, weight loss coach. You can check them out at coachpatricklew.com/clay and receive a free 5-day workout when you do sign up. Thank you to Gatsy Jet Art, maker of that fine artwork. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who has purchased Canuck Clay merch. You can do so at canuckclay.threadless.com. Shannon, I hope you got my email. I'll follow up on your late order. And yeah, there's another way to support me. I'm actually wearing one of the CCC. Oh, I'm wearing that shirt. You guys might not think I changed my clothes. Yes, my CCC shirt. So please support me that way if you would like to. My next show will be Sunday at 11 p.m. because remember, I don't stream on Fridays and Saturdays. And don't forget the ways to support me. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like the video. You can leave a donation like Knuckleback has done, but we can keep that donation train going. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And any donations tonight will go towards my fund for English lessons and grammar lessons for me. Or is it for myself? I'm just messing with you guys. I think it's for me. Okay, friends, let's do 10 minutes of your questions, comments about the game, and then I will bring on birthday boy Coach Rob. So what do we got tonight, my friends? How are you feeling? What do we got? And if you typed something before and I didn't get to it, type it in right now. Hey, where'd you see Kayla? Bela, where'd you see Kayla? Where were you guys last Sunday? Either Big Way or the bowling alley, probably. How many Canadian teams do you think playoffs? I think 5. I think one of Montreal, Ottawa is going to fall out, and then one of Canucks or Calgary aren't going to make it. So I'm trying to be optimistic that Calgary makes it. That Vancouver makes it and Calgary doesn't, and then one of Ottawa or Montreal fall out. But it could be 6 if both Ottawa and Montreal make it and Vancouver makes it, or it could be 5 if Ottawa and Montreal make it and Vancouver and Calgary don't. When teams do the New York, New Jersey swing, do they normally stay in New York City and Boston, New Jersey instead of flying there? Yeah, that would make sense. I don't see them. Yeah, because Long Island, everything's about 45 to an hour away. That's a good question. I don't know if they bother moving hotels. That's a great question, Fangirl. Maybe someone else would know. Hey, Harry, what impressed you with the Jets are reaching 100 points after beating the Oilers 4-3 in overtime? Could we see the Canucks face the Jets in round 1? Yeah, 100 points is very impressive for the Jets. Could the Canucks face them? They could, but it's pretty iffy right now. I'm certainly not closing the door on the season, but tonight didn't help. That's for sure. Oh, Carol, you're moving again? Oh, okay. I'll message you over the weekend. I hope at least 5 Canadian teams advance the playoffs. That is fair. Oh, and church. Yeah, of course. I wasn't at that mass. I was at a mass cathedral earlier. I can't believe, we talked about Big Way or bowling. I didn't think of church. Oh, Mark, only 3 hours later. I remember my question from earlier. How much of Quinn Hughes' minutes per game is decided by Tocchet? Do you think he has a say in playing that many minutes? I think Adam Foote is the one who decides, and Rick Tocchet can veto him but doesn't. Because if you were Tocchet, wouldn't you want Hughes out there as much as you can as well? Yeah, I think it's an Adam Foote runs the D. But I'm sure they game plan how many minutes they want Hughes to play, but it all depends on context, of course. Playoff type environment tonight, yes. And I heard that it was like that in the arena on Tuesday as well. Or the pancake breakfast. Nice, Bela. Minnesota could still choke their lead. Yeah, they could, but I don't think so. Yeah, that Besser goal was Kyle, tell me if you had these vibes too. It felt very much like when the Canucks were pulling out improbable comebacks and late goals against Nashville and Edmonton in the playoffs last year. That's what it felt like. Hi, Clay. You said Vancouver needs about 90 points for playoffs. What if St. Louis is really good and goes on a win streak? Wouldn't we have to keep up? Yes, Jessica, absolutely. You're right. So that's why the 90-91 is an estimate, and it's based on admittedly past performance. It's based on where the playoff bar would be right now if the season ended today. But you're right. If St. Louis continues their torrid pace, then that expected points will go up a little bit. No, that's a very fair point, Jessica. Do you like the playoff format? Should you go back to one day? I don't mind it. I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do. I can understand what they're doing with the divisional rivalries for sure. What's the big brain scheme to get Bedard? You want the Wild to slip out? That's fair. Draisaitl, McDavid, and Skinner. Yes. If prolonged, does LA have a chance? Yeah, for sure. It's funny. When I was in Vegas, I sat next to a guy from LA who was in Vegas just to hang out with his daughter. So he was watching the game, but he's a big Kings fan and he absolutely fears the Oilers. He doesn't hate them. He just fears them. But I heard about McDavid and Skinner. I haven't seen any highlights or replays about it yet. I didn't think Garland was that good. I think he's still banged up. Still confused with the format. Adrian, were you on the stream where I explained it? I won't do it tonight for sake of time, but maybe next stream I will, on Sunday when there's no game to talk about, I will explain the playoff format again. Less dump and chase. Hey, third, nice to see you. When we actually brought the puck in, we scored on 3 goals when we actually moved the puck in. Yeah, that's a good point. And then they hardly dump and chase against Winnipeg. They scored off the rush for sure. You were at the game on Sunday where they won? That's awesome. Go to more games. Garland was not noticeable. Who had the Caps to be the first team to clinch a playoff spot before the season started? Ovi is 7 goals away. Pretty crazy. Dump and chase doesn't work. When the Canucks going to figure this out? I don't think you can change, halfway through a season if that's the system they're taught. But yeah, you like to see more creativity for sure. 1 to 4 divisional brackets. Yeah, I can't remember what the 21 playoffs was. Oh, yeah. It's similar to this. Picture this as 1 to 4 divisional brackets, but the 4 seed in each division is just determined by the wild card. That's probably the easiest way to explain it, actually. Are you worried that the Jets will get revenge on the Canucks when they play? No, I'm not worried. I don't worry about those kind of things. The Jets will have personal pride and they'll want to get back and win the game for sure. Should have kept Lekkerimaki. Yeah, you think he'd be more impactful than Carlson for sure. If he doesn't sign long-term, this year the Canucks should offer sheet him to a 5-year contract to walk him right to UFA. If the Hawks match, Bedard will be UFA right at 25, so we sign him. Wow. That's the first I've heard about, but that makes a lot of sense. It felt like the National Series coming back late. Clay, I'm not saying anything you agree with tonight. What did you say last, Colin? No, we agreed. Garland was not very noticeable. That's what I said too. Clay, Colin, are you saying that we're disagreeing? I thought I agreed with everything you said so far, or at least close. Hughes' minutes depend more on how the game goes. Yes, more minutes in tight games with lots of power plays, less if the Canucks have a big lead. Great point, Crad. Great point. When I click on the link in the email, do I leave this page first? You don't have to, but then you have 2 browsers open, Coach Rob. That's up to you. It depends if you can multitask or not. I would turn it off or at least watch this show on a different device. That's what I would do. I would watch the show on a device and then join from your computer. The only 2 teams eliminated from the playoffs, San Jose and Chicago. I think Bedard's time ends in Chicago and goes to Vancouver. I'd be fine with that, Edison. Can the Wild fit Brock at $8 million? I don't know, actually, what the Wild's... I think the Wild's salary cap situation is pretty messed up, though, right? Why do you think the Canucks often dump and chase? Because that's the way Tocchet has coached them. Is it their skill level? We're unable to drive the puck past those zone. Yeah, it's because Alfred and the Canucks, to a man, aren't fast enough to carry the puck in. They'd rather dump and then ground and pound guys and hopefully turn pucks over that way. So, you guys, do you to play Demko less than 42 games? I wouldn't say you say less than 42, but you don't play him 60 or anything. You try and keep it between 45 and 50. I think the Canucks beat the Rangers, and it's Petey. He strips it from JT Miller and scores. Oh, they have a lot of cap space. Thank you, Swervin Yrvin. The team needs to find consistency. Today's game was all right, but I hope they don't fall off again on Saturday. Yeah, I want us to beat the Rangers for sure. Clay and I are going for dinner. We are, yes. Hi, Mom. Yes, Clay and I are going for dinner. Not Clay and me are going for dinner. Because, yeah, you say I am going to dinner, not me is going for dinner. But my point, I'll just say this for people who I don't care if you think that I can't speak English, but my point was specifically That's what I should have said. My point was specifically when you're talking about someone and I or someone and me, if it's about joining or read this article by blank and it's me, read this article by me, join me. That's what I'm saying. Join Mark and me, join Parker and me, not join Parker and I, join Mark and I. So yes, Clay and I are going for dinner. Absolutely. Because it's not Clay and me are going for dinner, but the point I was trying to make is in that particular example. But thanks, Mom. My mom's very smart. Oh, the Parisi and Suter come off the books. That's good to know. If Talkett signs extension, I think they're not going to go more than 2 or 3 years. You don't go long-term with coaches anymore. With number 888. Amazing. All good, Colin. Okay, you get the playoffs now. Great, Adrian. Just in time because they're going to start in a month. Everyone's saying hello to Mom. You think Ovi retires after the season? No. He's not going to retire after the season, especially if he hasn't broken the record. How close do you think Hito will be returning back? I don't know. I hope by the end of this road trip. 3-2-1. Will that help us? It's not great, but yeah, any winning record helps. Royalty has arrived indeed. Yeah, Carol, I'll talk about the format on Sunday's show. Because it takes me about a good 2 or 3 minutes to explain it. How weird will it be when the Canucks play against JT Miller and Carson Soucy? I don't think it'll be that strange. Like it'll be a bit jarring at the start, but I think we'll get into it pretty quickly. Justin, can we all join you and Clay for dinner? Yes, Justin, you can join my mom and me for dinner, but you can't join my mom and I for dinner. If Soucy gets scratched, that's true. They'll probably want to play him. Brandon Podzimiski, I tweeted them. Canucks should have used that pod calls in. Later, the announcers compared Brandon to like being a big Hawk. Oh, did they do that comparison because of you, Fillmore, or is that completely independent? That's pretty cool. Minnesota has tons of cap space. Thank you. Hito would have an impact. I agree. I don't think we're getting Horvat back, Shannon. I don't think so. Tribute to Hito and Mancini. I wouldn't say tribute, Harry. I'd say probably first TV timeout, they'll put a graphic back saying just welcome back Philip and welcome back Victor. But then there's a chance that neither will be in the lineup, so they probably won't say anything then. Yeah, there we go. X and I subject versus X and me object. Very good. That's even though that confuses me even more, Erwin, I think we're saying the same thing. What's your review on the 3-2-1 point system like Four Nations? I love it, and I love a play-in, but Gary Bettman doesn't like it. You say us. That's true. Horvat has slowed down a little bit. Let's give some love to Swervin Yrvin in the chat. Joyce Emo Hype, still teaching him grammar. Yes, always. I always obedient to my mom. So thank you, Swervin Yrvin, for the donation. Let's give some love to Irvin in the chat. Appreciate that. Ovi won't retire until his play actually declines. Great point. 3 fights in 10 seconds. Yeah, it's going to be our version of the Four Nations, Canada, US. Yeah, I'll tell everyone we're going for dinner. Yeah, I'll tell everyone. What center should the Canucks go after this summer? Mark and I were talking about this game over. We couldn't come up with a good one just yet, so I'll have to do a bit of research, admittedly, Cindy. Get back to you. I wonder if the Warriors read my tweet. You dropped Celebrini's name. Nice. Go after Gunther. Yeah, I like Sam. I didn't like Sam Bennett when he played for Calgary, but now he's good. Perfect center for us. He's tough and can score. We protect our star players. Very good. All right. I hope Coach Rob is alive. I asked him to be in backstage by now. So Coach Rob, if you haven't clicked on that link, please make sure you can do so. I'm not sure if you have to set anything up, but I'm ready for you anytime. But in the meantime, I will continue to read comments. Hughes looked really sluggish all game. Hard to watch. Yeah, I just don't think he's fully healthy, and 30 minutes doesn't help, right? Poll question. I'll end it now. Despite tonight's results, you guys are saying that the Canucks are still going to make the playoffs. I think 2/3. Yeah, 66% of you saying it's Canucks, 30% Blues, 2% Utah and 1% Flames. Okay. That's fair. Okay. I'm going to really quickly. Yes, I saw that video where Mancini was gifted a moose and a fan got a stick. And unfortunately, Mancini didn't play that game. And last one, I didn't get the Sportsnet feedback. ESPN one was Ray Ferraro. Oh, I like Ray Ferraro. If I can't get Shorty, I'll take Ferraro any day for sure. Okay, friends. Coach Rob, give me a thumbs up. You ready to go? Awesome. For the last 10 to 15 minutes of the show, I am going to bring on a birthday boy. He's been member for all 4 years that I've offered membership, and he, we've met each other a few times in person. We trade messages almost on a daily basis. Messages on a daily messages. Let's try that again. We trade messages on an almost daily basis, mostly about Canucks, but sometimes it's just about life. And we're gonna bring him on. So please welcome, celebrating his. I'll let him tell you how old he is. Celebrating his birthday, Mr. Coach Rob.
Hello,
Rob.
Everyone. 55 today.
55. That is
Yes.
awesome. Actually, I don't need this. I can hear you outside of my.
Was born
55?
Born in North Vancouver.
Awesome. How'd you celebrate today?
Actually, I had to work like about 8:30 to about 3. Then I went down to Shannon, so we got Chinese food from the place across the street and watched the Canucks game.
What's a Chinese restaurant called?
It's called Lums.
Oh no, I think haven't you done a review about that before?
Yeah, I've done like many reviews, and if you watch the videos I do of Charlie when he's sitting on the kitchen table, you can see a building in the background with a red, like a red name on it, and that's where it is.
Awesome. What'd you guys order?
We ordered the chicken chow mein, deep fried mushrooms, and the almond chicken.
I don't know what it is, Rob. I just get a kick out of you. It's not even, you're not even speaking Chinese, but when you're naming Chinese dishes, can you say it again? What did you order?
Chicken chow mein, almond chicken, and deep fried mushrooms.
I love it. Okay, so you had so you worked and then you had Chinese food with Shannon.
Right.
Awesome.
And Shannon had a cake too.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of her.
Right.
Hey, you growing a playoff beard? What's going on?
Yeah, for the Canucks, like you got to try something, right?
It looks good. And Skytrain Yrvin saying you look young at 55.
Yeah, 55. Which
is pretty good. And we got some people saying happy birthday in the chat, which is pretty awesome. So what I'll do is we'll chat for a few minutes, and then maybe for the last five minutes we'll let people greet you and ask you stuff. Is that cool?
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, let's. Do you want to talk about like reflections on your birthday, or do you want to talk about the team? It's up to you. You're the guest.
Maybe a bit of both, like.
Okay, let's do the personal stuff first.
Right.
What are you proud of that you've accomplished in the past few years? You don't have to go year by year, but just in general, in the past, since you turned 50, tell us something cool that you do. I think I know, but yeah.
Well, the big thing is switching jobs, because remember I worked at the Hudson's Bay Company for like 29 years in the food service there.
Yeah.
And the last 10 years it was run by a company called Compass Canada. And they actually closed it down because they weren't making enough money. But since I was there so long, I started when I was 20, I didn't know that I'd be able to work outside that environment. Right? I thought it would be, because you're there so long, you'd be tough to work somewhere else. And not everyone that worked there, but some of the people weren't supportive. Like when I wanted to work in other departments, they were saying, "Oh no, you won't be able to do that. You stick in the kitchen where we need you."
Yep.
So, but it wasn't until I left there. I worked at Montana's. Down at Tilica Mall, and they said, "You did a great job." And I said, "Really?" But I left all this stuff like in the dish pit. And I said, "Oh no, we were super busy tonight. Like you wouldn't get it all done." I said, "Well, thanks for saying that, because the Bay, they'd wonder why you didn't get it all done."
Yeah, exactly.
And also working at the Bay the last 10 or 15 years, I was a short order cook. And often I'd be doing it like by myself, which is crazy. I'd have to take the order from the customer and cook it. No waitress or waitress.
Yeah,
right.
That's crazy.
But now it's that little piggy. Like I'm, like in the first thing in the morning, I get to go in the van and go across town and pick up their bread order. And there's no stress, and it's just just down the street, like it's about 500 meters away.
Good on you, Rob, because there's also 35 years notwithstanding, there's also people at your age who would probably fret or be afraid of changing jobs, not necessarily professions,
Right.
but just the thought of, I get it, necessity, you got to pay for bills. I get all that too, but
Yeah.
it's not all, the older we get, I would dare say the change is harder. Is that fair to say?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But the best thing there, my boss, Patrick, he owns the company, of course, and he owns the building. So there's no, as we used to say, bigwig or upper boss coming in to say, oh no, don't do it like that. Like it's a family-owned business. Like,
yeah.
So
yeah, that's great. And tell us a bit about your work with coaching.
Well, I coach with Lambert Park High School with track and field and cross country. Then some of those kids, after they graduated, got into Special Olympics. So I used to see my friend, and I still go see her, my friend Sue McGinnis play the baseball, right?
Yeah.
And I was there one night, and one of the girls that graduated from Lambert, Elizabeth, asked me, why don't you come out and see us play soccer one night? I said, okay, I'll do it, Elizabeth, but I don't want to coach. I just want to watch it. So I'm there the first night, and I see the coach and say, I just want to see like Elizabeth play because she graduated from Lambert about like 2 or 3 years ago. And Dan Hurrow, he was on her team. Oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. Right. So at the end of the practice, they said, well, what did you think? I said, well, it looks like a lot of fun. Like, I said, well, if you want to help out, you can. We need more coaches, right? I said, well, I'll try it for the rest of the season, right? So that's what I ended up doing. That was back in 2015. And the floor hockey was at the school just down the street. Right. And recently they switched from floor hockey, which we played with like a ringette style stick and ring. Now it's floor ball, which is like it's basically floor hockey with a different kind of stick.
Okay.
And we played that. And recently last week, and we went up to Courtney, and we came second on the island in the little tournament they had.
Awesome.
Which is a lot of fun. Like,
well, I affirm you, Rob, for, and it's not even you're old, but at your age, at your stage in life, that you still give to your community out of your own time. That's obviously, a lot of my work is through churches and whether it's volunteered, paid, or stipended, but the fact that you give your time and energy to the community, that says a lot about you. Kudos to you.
But the scary thing is those first kids from like 2003, when I started helping out at school, they're hitting the early 40s now because 23 years ago. And one of the teachers at Lambert, Miss Kadev, Sarah Kadevs, she graduated from Lambert back in 2017. Yeah. And now she's a full-time teacher at Lambert, and that's so neat, like to see.
Yeah. Well, you should challenge all those 40-year-olds to a race and just show them who's boss. Yeah.
But the best thing ever is my eye doctor. Like, I don't know if you know that I can't really drive at night because my eyes they're not that great, right?
Okay.
So my new eye doctor is also a former Lambert girl that I used to like help coach with the cross country and a bit with the field hockey.
Yeah.
And she suggested I get the yellow tinted glasses with the prescription. And that works wonders. Like Shannon will be able to tell you. Like I can now drive at night again. I don't like driving at night.
Yeah.
But I can do it. Like.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. That's good. So, okay. Because I'm glad you have those glasses because I thought that I know that you drive at night. So I'm glad that you have some corrective lenses and that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, that's awesome. Let's talk a few minutes about Canucks and then we'll take some questions to wrap things up. Where do you think the Canucks are going to wind up with 13 games to go? Honestly, playoffs or not, and why or why not?
I think it's going to be close. Either we're going to make it by like a point, or we're going to miss it by a point.
Yeah.
But I think like even if we get in, it's a good thing because remember 2011 we won the President's Trophy, right? Mm-hmm. And we lost in the first round to LA Kings. Yeah. In 6 games, right? And they went on to win the Cup. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching that game. I was in we were in Ottawa at the time with the track and field team, so that would have been a really late game for me watching in Ottawa, like because if it starts at 7 o'clock here, 10 o'clock start there, and we lost, and that was
tough.
it.
And then we lost in the first round the next year to San Jose too. Yeah.
Right.
We didn't do so good. Yeah. Okay. So you think that it's going to be a 1 or 2 point swing either way, but they're going to be right it till the end, whether or not they make it or not.
I think so. Yeah.
What do you think is best for the franchise?
It's hard to say because we always, like, for lack of a better term, we always seem to be the bridesmaid and not the bride. Like, meaning if we miss the playoffs, like when the Vancouver Canucks were their 10th pick like Colin White or something like that. Like we're not in the first like 2 or 3 picks very often.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to miss the playoffs, you're better off to miss it.
Yeah, that's a good analogy about the Canucks.
Right out of it.
Yeah, the Canucks are always the bridesmaid or the bride. The way the Canucks play, they might not ever get married then, right?
Yeah. We've never drafted the first overall player.
Yeah.
Like I know in the Sedin, when we got Daniel and Hendrick, that was 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And I think for 5 minutes we had the first overall pick and we traded it to whoever.
Just to make the home GM look good. Yeah, you got it. No, and Coach Rob, I always appreciate your stuff. Yet you never come across as too smart or too knowing more or more deserving than the next guy, and you're generous as generous as you can be. So I think that's why I appreciate you so much, and that's why I think everyone in this community really appreciates you. So
thanks.
So I'm not ending it yet. I want to take questions for 5 minutes from the people, but that's just my way of saying thank you. Like we're friends. Yeah, we're friends outside of this too, and it's pretty cool that we.
I'll message Clay and say, hey, did you see this or?
Yeah, Rob will send me. Yeah, Rob will send me some funny videos too. Some of them very important, some of them not so important, but I love them all the same.
Yeah, but if it's something really serious, do you notice I'll send it to your text?
Yeah, I do notice that.
But if it's just something like random, I'll send it to the messenger.
And I won't spoil it on here what I get more of, messenger or text from you. That's fine.
Probably both the same. Like,
no, it's all good. Yeah. All right, we all love Rob. Let's do 5 minutes. So questions for Rob. Starting now, Colin says, should we sign Nick Ehlers from the Jets or Sam Bennett from Florida? Do you like any of those two players?
Yeah, they're both pretty good. It all depends on the money.
Yep.
Right? Like, you don't want to sign somebody that's like 29 to an 8-year deal at $8 million.
Yeah, I like Bennett because he can play in the middle. Like, I like Ehlers a lot, but I like Bennett because he can play middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian says, what's the secret to being handsome at 55? I think he's asking for me because I'm going to be there in 5 years. What's the secret?
I don't know, really. Like Shannon and other people that watch my YouTube channel will tell you that I'm probably the worst person for eating healthy, out in the world.
Well, I will say the food reviews I see you do are mostly fast food and burgers as opposed to the top 10 nutrition or
that's right, yeah,
or quinoa or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you speaking of food, do you love or hate cilantro?
What is cilantro? Is that
It's that spice? Not spice. It is spicy. It's that green. It's always in Vietnamese food and.
I don't like anything too spicy.
Okay.
At work we have a chef, Sandeep, and he'll say, "Oh, Rob, try this. It's not too spicy," but it is. Like Patrick will say, "No, that is spicy." Like in our standard, it's. Yeah. It is.
I'm just guessing from the name that Sandeep has a higher spice tolerance than Coach Rob. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, he's from India. So, but now he moved here about 4 years ago, and he's got married and he's got a kid, so he's going for his Canadian citizenship now.
Okay, so it's not. So these guys are saying it's funny because I'm sure these guys were shaking their head when I was explaining it. It's not spicy, but I can't. So I was wrong, just like I was wrong with the grammar. No, I was right with the grammar. But I can't stand the taste. It's an herb that gives this bite to it, but it's not spicy. So Swervin Yrvin corrected me. It's an herb. It's an herb, not spicy. And cilantro is not really spicy. It's an herb. There we go. So there we go. Who's your favorite all-time Canucks player?
Well, probably Trevor Linden.
Why is that?
And the reason is he was I was born March 20th, 1970. And I think he was born, is it April 11th, 1970 or in early April?
Yes.
So we're the same age. So I thought if I was a hockey player, we'd be in the same draft.
You know what? Fillmore was all over that. Rob, a few weeks older than Trevor Linden, who was the first person I knew born in 1970.
Yeah, and it was Bobby Orr's birthday today too, and there's about 10 or 12 different NHL players,
Oh, awesome.
including Nick Leddy, who played tonight. Like, so,
Yeah, awesome. I
yeah.
did not know that. And some greetings. Gerald says happy birthday. Colin says happy birthday. Cilantro's divisive because of super tasters. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I did a super taster and I ate all her cilantro. What's a super taster? Is that a noun or a verb? Like, what is that? What is
I don't know,
that?
is that like a food blogger, like, or?
Yeah. Tell us, Irwin. Who's super taster? Filmer says Alfred knows how to cook good food. Oh, that's good. No, Sarah. Rob's birthday was yesterday now.
20th, like the 20th.
Like right now. So now it's the 21st. So Sarah's so sweet. She thought
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
turning, like your birthday's now, like midnight. No,
Right,
his
no.
birthday is now ended, actually.
Yeah, same as Mr. Rogers. Remember him?
Yes. What, you and Mr. Rogers had the same birthday?
Yeah,
Was it a beautiful day in your neighborhood?
it was. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just making
was
sure.
good.
See, all the young people have no clue what we were just talking about right now. You know that, right?
Right.
What's your favorite restaurant to eat at? Not when
Probably
you
the
cook.
White Spot.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the reason why, like, they have the burgers, they have the shrimp sandwich and the beef dip, but they have the endless fries. Like, and they'll always come around. Do you want more fries? And I've always said, no, I'm fine, thank you. But it's nice to know, because there's nothing worse than going to a restaurant and getting like one time I stayed at the Days Inn in town before the marathon one year, and I had the fish and chips. I was still hungry after. I had to run up to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger. So
Fish and chips followed by a cheeseburger. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Swervin Yrvin says, Coach Rob, you've been alive for the entire Canucks history. What's your happiest Canucks memory and your saddest Canucks memory?
probably my happiest one was probably the 94 run,
Yeah.
right? Because like in 82 we knew we didn't really have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
But 94, that was my happiest one.
Good.
And the saddest was probably 2011, because I knew
Yeah.
like it's going to take us years to get back, because when you're older you understand more
Yeah.
that these players, they're in it for the money,
Yeah.
right? But do you think they've always been in it for the money, like, or is it more in recent years, like?
You know, Rob, it seems so easy to say it's more recent because of the money that we're seeing. Young,
Yeah.
entitled players, blah, blah, blah. Back in the day, back in our day, they played for the love of the game. But I'm sure, comparatively speaking, they were making a lot more money than the average person too back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough to say. I think everyone has a different, and you see, you see that when it comes to free agency, right? Those guys that will take less money to play and win a championship versus those guys who don't care about championship. They just want to fatten their bank account, right? It's all
like in the heyday, like in say 1982 or 83, like how much was Gretzky being paid back in those days? Does anyone know? Like,
I'm going to look that up right now. Wayne Gretzky. This will be
because
interesting.
I know in around 1990, Linden was the first $1 million player on the Canucks, or one of the first.
Wayne Gretzky salary 1982.
It's probably like 300,000, maybe.
Yeah, 550 grand. 550.
Really, that's it.
Yeah. Not even a millionaire yet.
Wow.
Just kidding. Oh, here we go. A super taster is someone that has a genetic variation that allows them to taste food much more sensitively. Well, that's not me. Everything tastes like either beef or sushi to me, so that's okay. Who's your favorite non-Canucks player?
Oh, it's so hard to say. Like growing up, I always liked Mike Bossy for some reason, because like watching the Islanders win the cups and stuff, like, and
I like it. It. If you could choose Bedard from Chicago or Celebrini from San Jose, both local guys, who would you bring home?
Bedard, because I feel he wants to play here. Like, even though Celebrini is from here too, I'm pretty sure it's his father. He works in the States, so he may not want to.
Yeah, we can fix Bedard,
wasn't there a story the other day that doesn't he have an older brother that's like 20, and the Canucks tried to sign him, but he wouldn't sign in Vancouver? Or did I misread that?
No, we have a Celebrini in our system.
Oh, do we?
It's Aiden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not Aiden Grew. It's Aiden Celebrini.
Drafted by the Canucks in the 2020. Yeah, just last year, 2023, 2 years ago.
Oh, so he's still our property, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that work? Like if he say no, I won't sign in Vancouver, when is he eligible to sign somewhere else?
Yeah, after if you can't sign him, there's a X amount of time after you draft him, whether it's 3 years or 4 years, whatever
Yeah.
the time is, and
Yeah.
then he'll be too old to go in the draft, so then he becomes a free agent. That's correct.
Okay. Yeah.
But then you're foregoing, a guaranteed money, right? But if you can get picked up somewhere, yeah. Well, let's worry about that later. Mr. Rogers, that's who owns Sportsnet. Very good, Colin. I mean, very good, Swervin Yrvin. That was pretty funny. Colin says his favorite Canucks coach, Canuck of all time, is Kessler. Okay, let's. Mike says, can you name an NHL team this year that's been decimated by injuries to their core more than the Canucks? I thought there was another team that I heard recently that had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I don't really follow the Eastern teams.
Yeah, I don't care.
Like that. So that's one thing that's so hard now. With when I started watching hockey, there was 21 teams.
Yeah.
Right, and like 16 would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So by not making the playoffs now, it's half the teams don't.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's right.
And I couldn't name a player from every team. I'd be hard pressed to do that.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you have a favorite soccer team? Like, do you follow the Whitecaps or like any English Premier League or anything like that?
Maybe the Whitecaps, just vaguely. Like I sort of vaguely remember when they won the soccer thing in 1979.
Sure.
Which is a long time ago. Like that's a different league too.
Aiden Celebrini is going back to Boston College for next season. Okay, that's fair. And we'll end with this one, Coach Rob. Yeah. Is it better to be the hammer or the nail?
Probably the hammer.
I'd want to be the hammer too. Coach Rob, I'll leave the floor to you before we end the stream. Anything you want to say to the people?
Well, no, just thanks to everyone for being so supportive of Clay and all that. And it's always nice to see you in the streams. Like I look forward to you guys coming on. And if you have a chance, check out my channel too. And we got so many things going on there. Like I know some streamers, they have different channels for different subjects. But I just put it all on one. Like one time, Charlie's going to be talking about the new prime minister. Then another time there's going to be like me going through Walmart grocery shopping, and all that. Like
what? You have a cat talking about politics?
Well, no, Charlie was confused the other day because she thought the Ottawa coach there was a change in Ottawa, right? And he thought there was a new coach in Ottawa, and I said, no, Charlie is a new prime minister, and all that.
Oh. And I think I'm confused too. I put your channel in the chat just now.
Oh, good.
So everyone check him out. He's at 1.2 thousands. 1,200.
It was some surprise, awesome. It just goes up sometimes like that.
That's good.
But there was one Charlie video we did about a year and a half ago, got over 15,000 views. Like it just.
What was he doing? Like food review of McDonald's or what?
No, I was just talking to Charlie about the weather or something.
Yeah, the YouTube algorithm is weird, right? You never know what people are searching for.
Yeah, well, last week I saw that guy that has that big channel, Chrome, from Van City Van Life.
Okay.
Right, and I saw his shop and all that, and I said, "Can they film it?" He said, "You can do whatever you want, no problem." And I thought when I posted that video, that was going to get a lot of views. Yeah. It's only gotten 120.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Which? Oh, yeah. Charlie talks about Canada's new prime minister. And what was the one about the van life? What's it called?
Oh, there's a picture of me and a gentleman, and you can see like a blue van in the background, a blue Sprinter van.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like that's the guy that he actually lives in the van, but he has a big shop where he sells custom parts for these vans. He travels all around the island and all that in Canada.
Okay, I'll check that out. Well, I'm looking at your channel now. Now I'm getting very hungry. So.
And there's like the other day when I drove to Courtney, I got the whole thing on dash cam.
Yeah, I see that too. Wait, it's a 4.5 hour video?
It is. It's the whole thing driving. It's a dash cam.
And it's at night. You better be careful. You better be wearing your special glasses for Coach Rob.
Well, that was the morning. And I actually was in September, me and Shannon went to from Parksville to Port Hardy and back the same day. And I have all that on the video too. So. Yeah,
also 4 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, well, nice variety on your channel. I love it. Yeah. Well, Rob, once again, happy 55th birthday. Thank you for your friendship and thank you for your support of me and the channel. Anytime, man. We'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks.
I'll let you exit yourself. I can see he's reaching right now.
I am reaching, pointing.
He's gonna press the button.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, take care, Rob.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
All right. Awesome. What? Rob's so cool. he's such a cool guy, and I've met him and Shannon on a few occasions. He's come down here once. I've seen him a couple times out there. So love him, and love, not just because he supports me on the channel as a friend, a really, really good friend, not just to me, but to Shannon and many others. So pretty cool. Okay, friends, that put me in a good mood, kept me in a good mood. I'm okay. I want the Canucks to win, but they got a point. I guess that's the optimist in me speaking. And it's another day tomorrow, and it's another game on Saturday morning against the Rangers. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's the legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. Thanks for your support. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, subscribing. On the way out, you can like the video, you can subscribe, you can leave a late donation. Thank you to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. And thanks to everyone who went above and beyond tonight. And that would be Knuckleback with the first donation, and then Swervin Yrvin with the second donation. Appreciate your generosity for sure. And once again, happy birthday to Coach Rob. Don't forget to rate the bad joke. And I'm not streaming again until Sunday night, but look for my Ask Me Anything call out for questions on Saturday morning. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. By the way, did you hear about the wig thief? Yes, the wig thief who escaped from prison. Police are combing the area to find him. Combing the area. God bless. And go Canucks go. Booyah.